Okay, so today we have something a little bit different. This is more of what you'd call a logic puzzle, and there's not real clear instructions. Sometimes that's how puzzles will be. Part of the puzzle is figuring out what you're supposed to do. So I don't have too much in the way of tips, other than to say that you should think outside the box. Don't. Sometimes people, if they don't have the instructions, they just shut down and say, "Well, I don't know what to do." Well, look at it. Just you're not going to know what to do at first necessarily. And I've got an example of some puzzles here that I've done. This is my quarantine treasure hunt that I had posted on my website back in April. This middle one is a good example of this. There are no instructions at all. All you're given is this image here and this middle puzzle. So what you should do is just start to look at it, think about things, try and make connections, especially look for something that might be noticeable, that could be, maybe they did that for a reason kind of thing. So, if you're looking at this pyramid here of letters and we have question marks, so clearly we're trying to fill in the question marks. Well, I mean, it's just a stack of letters. What could it be, right? Well, the first thing that you might notice is that they're all in alphabetical order, each row. So A, B, C, D, E, K, A, B, C, L, A, B, D. So they're each row is in alphabetical order. So, okay, what does that mean? Who knows, right? Um, what else can you notice? Well, if you look through, it does seem like there's a lot of repetition here. There's A, B, C, D, A, B, C, then ABD, and then AD. So it's not quite the same, but there's a lot of these letters at the very beginning of the alphabet. This one is ABCDE, and then up at the top there's bigger, or letters farther along in the alphabet. So if you kind of think about what that could mean, down here where there's more letters, you're using more of them from the beginning. And then up here, there's letters later in the alphabet when you don't have as many letters. And so if you just kind of think about, puzzles and maybe codes and things, one thing that's pretty common is to convert letters to numbers, right? So that kind of makes sense then if you think about it. Okay, so where there's more letters, if we were converting these to numbers, if there's more of the numbers, we have more small numbers. And up here where there's fewer numbers, we have more bigger numbers. And so, you know, maybe you can try different things. There might be some things you think of that don't work out, but ultimately, this J and this Z, these seem like weird letters to have. The rest of these are semi-normal. K is less common, but we're probably not spelling anything here with Z and J. But if you try some things, you can find that by doing the sums of the values, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would be A, B, C, D, E. That is going to be 15. And then K, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K is 11. So that would give us 26. Now 26 sounds like a familiar number when we're talking about letters, doesn't it? Because there's 26 letters in the alphabet. So that should kind of be a key that, 26. I wonder if there's a reason for that. Oh, and Z is the last letter of the alphabet. It's 26. Okay, so maybe 26, maybe each row, this one's 26, this one's 26. Maybe all of them are supposed to be 26. Maybe that's how we find the missing number. And in fact, that's what the answer is. So J, for example, is 10. So we would need 16. So J, K, L, M, N, O, P. That's P. So J plus P would be 26. And so you can do that. And so the point is just, you don't know what to do at first, and just kind of look around, see if there's things that jump out at you, like the fact that there's a lot of the same letters here, the fact they're in alphabetical order, the, letters farther in the alphabet are closer to the top, and just try things, You might say, oh, maybe that's, this, you skip every other letter, and, well, no, that doesn't quite work. That's fine. You're going to try things, and it might be wrong, and that's okay. I got another example from my quarantine treasure hunt here. This one right over here. The Bill of Rights says, and then we just have a list of numbers. So there's lots of things you could try to do here. You could say, okay, the Bill of Rights says, and maybe we need to convert them to letters, right? Like we did. There's all of them are less than 26. Each of these numbers. Maybe it's a phrase. So let's see. 5 would be E. 10 would be J, right? I think we said J, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Yep. So E, J, A. Now E, J, A doesn't make much sense, does it? Okay, well, that was a good idea. It didn't work. What else could we try and do? There's some two-digit numbers and some single-digit numbers. Is there some sort of math we can do with them? I mean, 5. This is 16. If you add them, this one is 31. Yeah, that's not very helpful. This one's 21. Nah. Okay. And ultimately, we're trying to get a word on all of these puzzles. So how can we convert this into a word? We tried converting them to letters, and that didn't do any good. What else could we try to do? The Bill of Rights, that's the first 10 amendments to the Constitution. So maybe the numbers have to do with the amendments. But there's only 10 amendments, and this one has an 18, and there's an 11 down here. So maybe the first column here is a maximum of 10. So maybe this one refers to the amendment, and then these other numbers refer to something related to the amendment. And so you could try things like that, and I'm not going to spoil the rest of it, but if anybody wants to try it. But in fact, you're going to find that these are the 5th Amendment, the 10th Amendment, the 8th Amendment, the 1st Amendment, and these other numbers are giving you some information. So the way to do it is just to try things. If you looked up the amendments and said, I'm going to take the 10th line of the amendment and the 18th, and you might get nothing, right? So then try something different. So basically my tip for a puzzle where you don't have instructions is to look for things that stand out, things that are unusual. If you notice that something is a specific way, like letters are alphabetical, there's probably a reason for that. So think about why would they have done it that way? What could that mean? And just try things. And if it doesn't work, that's okay. Try something else. By failing, you're going to learn just as much as by succeeding sometimes. So don't be afraid of that. All right. I hope you have fun with today's puzzle and enjoy something a little bit different, and I'll see you tomorrow.